Welcome to Auntie's House podcast and my special guest, Baluji Shrivastav, OBE.
Hello.
I live in a house that has no doors, that has no windows and no floors. I live in a house that has no chairs, that has no tables and no stairs. It has no below and it has no above. All it has is a lot of love. There we will go, 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 there we will go. So, Baluji, what does Auntie's house mean to you? How did you come to be in Auntie's house?
Hello, everybody. I came into Auntie's house because Auntie kidnapped me from a very nice place called Paris.
And what does Auntie's house mean to you?
Auntie's house, to me, is very celestial house. It has, as you have heard in the song, no floors, no doors, no windows. There is no way to stay so. It's a very spiritual house. And so is Auntie. Very, very spiritual. So to me, it's a very spiritual, celestial, and all that.
So you are a very spiritual person, aren't you, Baluji, then? That's your perspective on the world. You have a very rich inner life. And when you were a child, actually, you did meditate at a very young age. Tell me about that.
Yes, I used to meditate sometimes 8 hours in one go. I used to sit on the roof naked and in the cold winter and no feel of the cold at all. And I have done quite a few times. I wouldn't say I have done every day, but I've done quite a few times whenever I really felt to do it. But normally, I used to meditate half an hour, 1 hour with my father, with, pretending my brother as well, because he was 5 years younger than me. He is 5 years younger than me. So, yes, we were meditating together.
How old were you when you were doing that?
When I was meditating, I was 5, 6 years old, and then continued from there onwards up to when I went to school, and whenever I used to come back from the school, which a school was 300 miles away from my house, so I couldn't go and come every day. So I used to have special holidays, and then I used to meditate again with my father. Of course, in my school, it was not meditation, but I used to do kirtan, which is singing religious songs, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, all these things we used to do every morning a little bit. which is also gift from my father, because when I was 5, 6 years old, my father used to take me to walk and used to teach me every day one shloka of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. So I've been very, very lucky to be his son.
What do you think the impact of that was on you?
The Bhagavad Gita impact is still with me. I'm always thinking something more spiritual, something more religious, and I cannot get away with that. Whatever I do, now and then, I come back to my religion, my faith, which is a very good gift, because normally people get away with this and they do all sorts of things and they change their life. But I have tried to be not very religious person, but I cannot get away with that, because whenever I go away from that, I feel I'm going away from something. I don't know what. It's like Auntie's house. Again, back to spirit. So I go away and I come back, but I don't know what I go away from and what I come back to. But I do feel that changing in my life, constant changing, and that happens. So that's the gift of my father, I think.
And the gift of India, because that's very much part of some people's lives many people's lives in India.
Yeah, gift of India, but if I was born somewhere else with my father, and if my father was there, I would do the same. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's gift of India only, but my father is not here now. Still, I go back to it. So if my father was somewhere else, I would be the same.
Can I ask you, because you are a very great musician, you are a famous Indian musician. If anybody wants to know about you, you have a wonderful website, baluji.com. But I want to ask you, how does that spirituality affect the way you play music, when you play classical Indian music, for example?
That's a very good question, because that gives me great concentration. And whenever I do things, I do with great concentration. Not only music, but whatever I do, I just concentrate. And that's very natural to me. So the music, when I was learning, I was not concentrating on teachers teaching. What I was thinking, music is beyond that. When my teachers taught me, somehow it triggered in me that music is not music, it's a spiritual being. And it's not what teachers teaching, it's the what teachers in teaching, and I'm learning in between something else is above that something. And I got above because I didn't believe in learning what teacher was teaching, but I believed in creating music, and that was coming naturally to me because of the spirituality, I think, whatever it is. But as I said, spiritual, I really don't know what spirit means. So it just quite a being which is I can't describe, which I come back and I go and I concentrate that way. And music was the same to me. I was finding something more than or different, you can say, than my teachers taught me. And my other students, my friends, used to complain about me to the teacher. They used to say, he never practices. He never does this. We keep remembering, we keep learning these ragas and these scales and all that, and he doesn't do it. And teachers used to say, well, he's something else. He does whatever I supposed to do, what we supposed to do. And he's doing something which is absolutely right. Don't talk about him. So I've heard these sort of comments, which sometimes disappointed me because I thought teachers are not appreciating what I'm doing. Didn't understand. But never mind, I kept doing something because I didn't help. I could not help going the other way. I wanted to listen to my teachers. I wanted to do what they wanted me to do, but something told me, no, you've got something more to do, something more important to do. So keep doing that. And I was doing it.
Now, I've noticed with you that there isn't a big divide between your different states of consciousness. For example, for me, when I open my eyes, I am awake, and it's a very big difference between when I'm awake and when I'm sleeping. And there is an in-between space, an in-between state of mind. And then, of course, there's the state of mind when you are meditating. But with you, I have found from living with you for 40 years that you dip easily from one state of mind to another. For example, I could be reading to you and you appear to be fast asleep. In fact, you might even be snoring. And the moment I stop reading, you say, carry on. So although you are sleeping, you are also awake at the same time.
I think the blindness has something to do with it. Because for me, the door is only door when I touch the door. Floor is only floor when I touch the floor, when I feel the floor. And smell is only smell when I smell something. And so I am Auntie's house myself in some ways, apart from that. So I'm always there, always awake, always sleeping. I'm always everything. So that's the Auntie's house to me. That's a celestial being of myself. I think so. So maybe I'm realizing more and more by talking with you that I am the Auntie's house myself. And to me, it's everybody is the Auntie's house. And everybody is, the whole world is the Auntie's house. Why do I say Auntie's house, not Uncle's house? Because Auntie's house has got very soft, gentle spirit, gentle being, yet can be very furious. So all sorts of qualities are there, which is in one place. So one place, which one place? The whole world is the one place. Whole celestial is one place. Whole being is one place. So that's what I think about it. That's how I think. And that's what I am all the time. So whenever you speak to me when I'm sleeping, I wake up and I say, no, I could hear everything. Yeah, basically I do care and I don't care at the same time.
So, Balu, you have lived half your life in India and half your life here. And
I would say it's more than half of the life here.
But your most formative years were in India. And the stories you tell me about the way of life in India are completely opposite to the kind of experiences that you've had here, in the sense of the attitude. For example, you often talk about stories in your family about ghosts and dreams and extraordinary experiences. Can you tell us one of those stories?
So, first of all, I'll say, why do I talk about ghost stories? The reason is that when mummy puts me to sleep or put any child to sleep, they say, Hawa aa jayega. So they're creating this kind of fear that ghost will come if you keep speaking, keep talking too much, keep crying, keep insisting something, don't do this. And so I think that has gone into my mind. And I have noticed that I used to have a fear of a ghost, thief, something is coming back behind me and shouting and screaming. But as I have been here in this country for a long time, I don't have any more fear now. I can get up at night and go any time. So there is no problem. So that's the one question answered. The other question, I've got few stories which I had been, or I have been very lucky that lots of women love me in different ways. And there are a couple of stories. There was one woman who loved me but didn't say anything because her husband was a very good friend of mine. And one day I was just lying there, just like a normal person on the floor. And this person said to me, my friend said, sorry, I have to go. And I said, well, I'm coming with you. He said, no, stay here. And I stayed. And then she was cooking parathas with kind of chapatis. And she lied down on me. And I was a bit surprised that coming from her when I was about 24, 25 years old, or young man, And so I didn't understand it. So that happened, and maybe she felt shy, and I also felt shy. And I said, well, what are you doing? This and that. So she got up, nothing. Next night, when I was there, he said to me that, do you know about Brahma Rakshas? And I said, no, I don't know. And he says, it's a god. It's a god and goddesses, whatever it is, it's just God spirit. And I said, so what can I do? Well, sometimes my wife has got this problem. And I said, well, what's the problem? So she falls down and she has got some dizzy something. And then it's not her, it's the Brahma Rakshas speaking through her. And I said, okay, doesn't matter. Nothing to do with me. I'm very sorry that it happens to her. So a couple of nights after, I was there sitting with him, and she came with a changed voice, very kind of harsh voice, and she said, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy all your family. But if you listen to me, everything will be all right. And I am Brahma Rakshasa. And I said, what is this? You told me about Brahma Rakshasa. He said, this is very true. She is in the village. When she does this, she says, it's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to fire, it's going to fire. And all sorts of things happen. But if you don't listen to her, you will be destroyed. Your family will be destroyed. And I said, well, I don't believe. because my father taught me in Radha Swami faith that you don't believe in gods and goddesses like this and any of these spirits, because they shouldn't harm you. They can't harm you. So I said, oh, I don't believe it. So, okay, don't believe them. Don't worry. Go to your house and, whatever you want to do. I said, okay. But then so it was night. So in the morning, he left me. And when he left me, this woman said to me, you have to listen Brahma Rakshasa. And whatever I say, you have to do. And I said, well, I don't know what to do. And you can imagine what can happen after that. It all happened. Of course, I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy. I did enjoy too.
So you made love to Brahma Rakshasa. Is that what you're saying?
In a way, yes. Because she says that she is the chariot of the Brahma Rakshasa. So you have to listen, I had to listen her. So that sort of thing happened. And so I made love to the Brahma Rakshasa's chariot.
So have you experienced other goddesses? Have they been chasing you since then?
One goddess chased me and kidnapped me from Paris to here. Yeah, so this is the second goddess. And actually real goddess, because I have been with this goddess for 42 years now. All my life, most of my life spent with this goddess. And I'm sure, I don't know what's her belief, but I'm very happy if her belief is the same, that our life is bound with each other.
Wow. Well, there's also another story you've got, which is about your maternal uncle playing in the forest. Is that a story? Who told you that story?
That story was told to me by my mother. And she told me that my grand uncle, which is we call Nanaji, and because he was the father of the Nana, so he's Parnanaji. And he was a very good tabla player. And one day he was practicing around 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. Somebody knocks at his door. He opens the door and he follows this person, because this person wanted him to play in his party, which is called Gammat. And Gammat is normal kind of this party where people can get together and sing religious songs or whatever they want to sing together. They're in the group. So it's a group party. So he followed. And it didn't matter to him till he arrived to big forests. And so he was really afraid, what's happening? Why is such big, dense forest? And he's taking me. And so
but he also looked down at his
and that's
feet.
what I'm saying. So my Nanaji looked at his feet, or towards down. So he found the feet were other way. So the feet were towards him and the heel was the other way.
You mean feet were back to front?
Back to front. And so he was really afraid what happened, because he has heard all jinns have got these kind of feet and so on and so forth. But he just didn't want to pretend that he is afraid. So he was bravely followed. And when this person or this jinn arrived, there were lots of like him, many big fat and some were thin, some were different sizes, but they were all jinns, all the same kind of jinns. And there was one sitting on the chair, the biggest one, the fattest one. And he said, I'm very glad that you have come here, and now play with us. And he played with all the gammat. And then the fattest one, the king, asked him, whatever you want in this world, you can have. What do you want? And my Nana was so afraid. He said, well, the way you brought me, please can you take me to the house, because I don't know the way. And he said, don't worry, close your eyes. And he closed his eyes, and within 2-3 minutes, he was there at his house. When he arrived, this house had 3 terraces. So when he arrived in 3rd terrace, he knocked and he said, Mohanlalji, are you all right? And he said, yes, I'm fine, thank you. And that was the story.
Have you ever played for jinn?
No, I only drink gin.
Well, that was really fascinating, Baluji. Thank you very, very much. And for giving us, in Auntie's house, an insight into the fascinating inner world that you have. Thank you very much.
Well, I wish this podcast well, and hopefully people love it. And I am very privileged to be the first guest of Auntie's house. Thank you very much.